Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of my Walking Wellness webinar series, where today I want to talk about the biology of belly fat and body fat in general, really. And just what is it that determines whether we are storing fat or burning fat? When we talk about weight loss, we often hear this expression, it's simply an equation of calories in versus calories out. Just eat less and move more. What's the problem? And if you subscribe to that way of thinking, then it kind of stands to reason that following a low-fat diet might be the best way to lose weight, because after all, a gram of fat has more than twice the calories of a gram of carbohydrates or protein. So the best way to lower calories is to lower fat, right? So why is it then that low-fat diets simply don't work? 5 out of 6 people who embark on a low-fat diet to lose weight end up putting the weight back on within a year. So here's the thing. Not all calories are created equal. 100 calories of fat has a very different biological effect than 100 calories of carbohydrates on the body. And it's that biological difference that is the difference when it comes to weight loss. So it's not so much the amount of calories you eat, but it's the type of calories that determines whether you are a fat burner or a fat storer. So let's get into this topic a bit. Now, when it comes to weight gain, hormones call all the shots. And there's a number of hormones involved in this topic of appetite and cravings and satiety. There's ghrelin, which is a hormone that our stomach cells make when the stomach is empty, and it says, I'm hungry, please find some food. Leptin is a hormone that our fat cells make, and it says, I'm fine, no more food, please. But the main hormone when it comes to fat storage and fat burning is a hormone called insulin. Now, insulin's main job is really about energy storage. It has 2 jobs, really. One, it has to balance our blood sugar levels. Glucose is our primary fuel, and having blood glucose circulating in the blood doesn't really do us any favors. It needs to get into the cells and the muscle cells where it can be put to use to make energy. But when the muscle cells are full and they can't hold any more glucose, the body's pretty smart and it doesn't want to waste that energy. So insulin's other job is to tell the fat cells to take on board this extra fuel for a rainy day. And that's why insulin's also known as the fat storage hormone. In fact, we can't store fat without insulin. So that begs the question, what foods drive up insulin? Well, carbohydrates affect insulin levels the most. Protein, not so much. Fat doesn't move the needle. So at this point, you might be thinking, wait a second here. My whole life, I've been led to believe that it's all about calories and that fat has the highest calories, so following a low-fat diet is the healthier way to go. But yet, fat does not drive up the fat storage hormone insulin. Carbohydrates do. So why is it then that the government guidelines have been telling us for decades that we should base the foundation of our diet around starchy carbohydrates, breads, grains, cereals, pasta, 6 to 11 servings a day? Maybe we got that wrong. Could there be a connection between the obesity rates that have been climbing ever since those policies came out? You tell me. So if we want to become fat burners, we have to eat in a way that keeps our insulin levels relatively low. And the way to do that is to minimize those starchy carbohydrates, the breads, the pasta, the rice, the cereals, the grains. These are the foods that elevate the fat storage hormone. And we want to keep those to a minimum. Make them a condiment at best. We want to base our meals more around protein, which promotes satiety, makes us feel fuller for longer, okay? And it doesn't elevate insulin to the same level. And we don't want to be afraid of fat, but quality is everything. So we want to get plenty of healthy fats from the likes of avocados and nuts and seeds and olives and coconut. and their oils, and butter from grass-fed cows, because that is rich in omega-3 fats, as are oily fish. Now, the last tip I'm going to give you about burning belly fat is to give yourself time off from eating. Kind of makes sense, right? But it is a good tenet of health to make sure you get at least a 12-hour window every day where you're not eating anything. That keeps your insulin levels low, right? So that basically means if you eat dinner at 8 o'clock at night, don't eat breakfast until 8 a.m. the next day. Your overnight fast. But also avoid snacking all the time. Just keep in mind, every time you're snacking, if you're doing it every couple of hours, you're elevating insulin, and that's keeping your fat storage hormone working. So if you have 2 or 3 good-sized meals a day based more around protein and fat than starch, you probably will find you don't need to snack, and therefore you've got a good 4 or 5 hours in between meals where you're not making the fat storage hormone all the time. So those are just a few tips on how you can become a better fat burner. Until next time, good health.